The Pope, the Catholic Church, the leader of the Catholic Church, the God's representation on earth is dead. Now we'll go through the ceremony of the blah, blah, blah. Who gives one fuck about all of this pageantry? What the fuck does the fucking Catholic Church, let alone the Pope, actually do for people? Think about that. What do they actually do? What, he comes and does some speeches and lets you kiss his ring? You have musicians, actors, performers, artists, they go and they do their little thing in front of the Pope and he lets them kiss his ring? How do people still accept this bullshit? How is this thing still that it makes any difference to any human being if the Pope is alive or dead? Or I don't understand this. I don't get it. And of course he died either on Easter or whatever the day. I don't even know exactly the time he died, but very convenient that he died during, Easter. The Easter week here. Very telling. But anyway, this is so childlike and so intellectually dishonest and emotionally immature that we are talking in 2025 about a pope, let alone that you morons still believe that in a God at all, or that you believe in that Jesus Christ was, all of this horse shit that people have just, without question, without anything, they just accept. And it gets into how Marx viewed religion as opium of the masses. And it was originally written in German and it's been translated incorrectly and it's not direct, but what his idea was simply that when people are struggling economically, because that's what Marx was, he was an economics philosopher. He did other stuff too, but primarily economics. When people are struggling financially, religion, and when there's a lot of rich people in our society and a lot of poor people, and there's a large gap between them, the poor people inevitably become more religious. There's a great YouTube page called Carefree Wandering. Fantastic philosopher, he's German. And he points this out. He was visiting India, and he had noticed that he thought of Marx when he was visiting India, that when you walk through the streets of India, they worship cows. They are extremely religious, and they're extremely poor. He ran a parallel with the United States, that the increase in the wealth gap in this country has increased people's reliance on religion. Every statistical measurement that you look at, people are generally going to church less. They're generally less religious than they've really historically ever been. But that doesn't mean that people still aren't religious. Drive around your city and just take a trip from your workplace to your home and count how many churches are there. People still go to church just because they're not getting the newer parishioners. They're not getting Gen Z as much. They're not getting millennials. But there is still the majority of this country, vast majority are Christians. And it depends on what statistic you look at, but people still go to church. They still do this. And I understand small working class churches where people get together and they worship and they do outreach. They help homeless people. They feed, they clothe, they do all this stuff. They go to prisons. They do all the stuff that Jesus said to do. I get those people. I get outreach ministries. I get them all. I'm an atheist. I don't need it, but I appreciate what they do. And I know Catholic Charities does a lot, but the ultimate control mechanism over human beings, even bigger than capitalism, is God, is religion. It has allowed atrocities to be committed from the beginning of recorded history concerning religion, particularly the empire of religion that is Christianity. The religion of empire, that is Christianity. Christianity has been used by the Romans, it was used by the British, and it's now been used by the American Empire. It is used as a control mechanism to control poor people and working class people. It is to get them to think of something bigger than themselves and then conflate that with the government. And it also, I think, adds a supernatural flair to everything. Like, hashtag God's plan, right? Like all of this Trump and all of this stuff, This is obviously the way things are supposed to be, Jason, because God willed it to be that way. This was written in the book of time before you were born. Jason, you have a destiny. And you may not believe in God, Jason, but God believes in blah, blah, blah. And that destiny shit goes two different ways. People never think about the way, they always think that they're always focused on their destiny. What about the people who believe that are rich, that believe it's their destiny to be rich and powerful, and that it's your destiny because you didn't grow up with the same advantages they had? It's your destiny, it's supernatural, that you're just destined to clean toilets for the rest of your life. You're destined to be a worker bee, a peon. That's what your destiny is. People like Betsy DeVos, when she was former head of the Department of Education, she was super religious, and she would speak in destiny terms. This is the destiny of people. We're rich, and it's our destiny to be, really, it was your destiny to be born into a rich family and to oppress people and to pay them like shit and to take advantage of the most vulnerable in our society for your own benefit. That's destiny, or is that just you exercising your money over people in a capitalist society? There's no destiny, there's no faith, there's no fate. Calvinism is bullshit. There is none of that. None of it's true. It's used against us, the working classes, to control us. Religion is opiate of the masses. Like opium, a religious experience can be almost psychedelic. It can almost be a trip. You're surrounded with people, there's music, there's noise. Speaking in tongues. Not everybody that speaks in tongues is full of shit. These people are having like a drug trip in some cases. This happens all the time in evangelical churches. This happens all the time. Did you ever hear Benny Hinn's ministry where he taps somebody on the forehead and they pass out? Those people aren't all acting. There's an adrenaline. There's a parts of the brain that get accessed during these hyper-religious moments. And it's done for you to give 10% of your income to an entity that will, I guess, get you to heaven. I guess will give you a philosophical jump start towards eternal life. Like, it's so fucking childlike. Like, can you imagine? And now I have to see the entire adult media. We're adults, but they don't treat us like adults. They treat us like we're children. The Pope's dead. It's headline news on everything. Who fucking cares? Well, I'll tell you why the powerful care, because it's part of the control mechanism. Religion is used as opiate for the working classes. So they have to pretend that the Pope is somehow, different and more special than the rest of us. It goes into the whole why churches are so baroque. They're so big and cavernous, and they're supposed to inspire an awe of God. No, that's the spin they give it to you. It's supposed to inspire you to think that you are nothing compared to God. And if you're nothing compared to God, can you imagine what you are compared to the Pope, or compared to cardinals, or compared to priests, the priest class, which still exists in large measure? This isn't people that use Christianity as philosophy. First off, there's a hell of a lot better philosophy books than the Bible, the New Testament or the Old Testament. Way better philosophical books. Way better philosophers than any of the Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. Better than anything in either testament. And the idea that this is for poor people. This is for the working class. I know you're saying, Jason, there's lots of rich people that are Catholics. There's lots of successful people that are Catholic. Yeah, and they're dumb too. They're stupids as well. They're superstitious as well. But it's really the majority of Catholics that really worship the papal, that go every day to the fucking church and light candles and do the whole game and pretend. They're usually working class or poor because it is opium for them. They become more religious. They become more influenced by the church because they don't have the economics in their life aren't great. The job market is not great. And they have nothing but God. They have nothing. It's what Barack Obama said. I don't like Barack Obama, but he's right. They go back to their God and guns, and that's where their power is. That's what the conservatives will always go back to. And they put that silly ass, that shit on their forehead, a cross on their forehead from Ash, for what, Ash Wednesday or whatever the fuck it is. I used to be a Christian and I don't even remember this shit. Like, it's so funny because I hated it so much. I hate ceremony. I hate binding ceremonies. I detest them. I fucking detest binding ceremonies. I detest sitting in front of a man who didn't want to get a real job, so he became a pastor and fucking begs you for money every fucking. Now, don't forget your tithe. Here comes the plate. So I can get paid, and I can keep I can keep bullshitting you people about what's in this book. So I don't have to ever work for a living. I mean, and I know the Catholic Church, and there has been priests that have done good things. There have been for working class. I know this current Pope did some great stuff about transgender people and loving and immigrants and migrants. Great. But at the end of the day, he's still an institution that takes advantage of poor people. It just does. It's baked into the sauce. And to pretend like in 2025, in a technologically advanced time, that we still need to pretend all of this God shit, all of this Catholic bullshit, all of this ceremony, all of this, and now we have to sit through media coverage of the next, the Vatican II or whatever you want to call it, when the smoke comes out and if it's gray or if it's black, and we can get another Mel Gibson conspiracy theory about popes, and we can pretend like these people aren't completely batshit crazy. There is no greater mental illness, and they have they're high-functioning mentally ill people. But they nevertheless, if they really have internalized a God as an adult, you're either a sucker or you're dumb. Or you're naive, or you're grifting. I'm not really sure which at this point. And to continue this matters. Like, this is bullshit. Some of the most wasted land in our cities are Catholic churches that are tax-free. Never mind the Catholic Church, unbelievable global sexual abuse scandals. Never mind that even today, priests are popping up left and right, being moved around from parish to parish after abusing children. Today, in real time. The Catholic Church shouldn't exist. It's a factory for pedophiles and fucking taking advantage of the most vulnerable in our society. I mean, it really is. And it's continuous. It's continuous, seemingly like it's good for working class and poor people. It isn't. It's making you stupid. Christianity, religion, period. Muslims, Jews, Hindus. If you believe in any of that bullshit, you're a moron. You're just a person that's not intellectually very much all there. You're kind of full of shit. And you've convinced yourself that this is real. You can't, never mind that, we'll get into later videos about anti-scientism and anti-intellectualism that abounds in Christianity, that abounds in religion, because they need it. They need you to not think too hard about all of this. Because if you start to break it down and deconstruct it, that's why Republicans and conservatives hate postmodernism. They hate Derrida. They hate deconstruction. It makes them really, because all of their illusions and all their bullshit just comes crashing down within hours. It can't even stay up. It doesn't even have the intellectual vigor to stand for once somebody starts communicating to you about science and about intellectualism and about other philosophies, the Christianity can't stand up to that shit. You've gotten to the point where you're just superstitious, and when you die, you want to go see all of your dead relatives and friends and all the old animals that you had when you were a kid. And you want to spend eternal life with your family. If Christianity was real and that was true, the reason I wouldn't be a Christian is to have to spend eternity with my fucking relatives. What a fucking horrifying thought that would be. I fucking hate Christmas and fucking Thanksgiving. I can't imagine what it would be like to spend all eternity with my relatives. Anyway, thanks for listening. Fuck the Pope and the Catholic Church and all that made up nonsense.